be set. I think we're ready now for our first throw. Left-handed. 27-year-old. So that's her second attempt. Each competitor will throw their 6 in quick succession. Many athletes throw 3 and then have just a small minute break. Obviously, each athlete needs to be set in position, etc. So that's why each athlete throws their 6. Yesterday, we had a theme of saving the best till last. I wonder if that's going to be the case with Anna Marchkanikova. And that's the end of the competition for the Czech Republic athletes, Anna Markanikova. And she'll make way then for her fellow Czech Republic athletes. We expect Lenka Morsinkova to then take over, athlete number 77. But again, all the officials and the hard-working technical staff, without those volunteers and officials, we won't be able to have the World Paralympics Grand Prix here in Nottwil. Plenty of support staff. I can vouch for that, not only from the images we can see, but also from being in Nottwil a few years ago now for the World Paralympics Junior Championships. Plenty of helpers, plenty of information given to spectators. If you are going to Nottwil, then and you're watching maybe the live stream before you get to the track, then I hope you have a very good day. It's a stunning day weather-wise. Seven minutes away now from the first of the events on the track. And it's 400-meter morning in Nottwil. So athlete indeed number 77 will be taking part now. So that's Morsinkova of the Czech Republic in the F34 category.
Ich habe heute Morgen extra den Wecker 30 Minuten später gestellt, um noch mehr Zeit zu haben, um den Gästedienst zu bauen und zu verarbeiten. Heute mit frischen Lagen gehen wir hin und es warten Leckerbissen auf aus Schweiz. Wir werden die beiden Hauptprotagonistinnen und Protagonisten gestern in Bälde sehen. In der Runde startet um 10:56 Uhr zu ihrem Lauf über die 400 Meter. Und von Marcel Rupp dürfen wir ebenfalls einiges erwarten dann am Nachmittag in der 5000er Serie um 20 nach 2. Also das sind die 2 Fixpunkte, die sich jede Zuschauerin und jede Zuschauer dick anstrengen sollte. Die Toilettenbesuche und das Anstehen beim Klassenstand darum herum manövrieren und einplanen, dann kommt es gut. Ein absoluter Höhepunkt des Paralympics. Natürlich liegt da der Grund der Paralympic Goldmedaillengewinnerin in der Vierung.
So the athlete now in place. Lenka Moore-Sinkova. Returning in 34 in a couple of months' time. Once again, using their left arm. So Lenka Moore-Sinkova getting her competition underway. Using the old-fashioned way, you'd say, using a tape measure. And as long as we get an accurate reading, that's all that matters. F34 category, won in Tokyo by Zhu of China, throwing a huge 9 meters 19. Nearly a full meter further than the bronze medal. So for the moment, we'll leave events there in the shot puts. Looks like it was just one more throw for the Czech athlete as we turn attention for the first time today onto the track. And it's 400-meter morning, so make sure you settle yourself down. Grab a cup of tea or a coffee or maybe a soft drink and enjoy these 400 meters. The men up first. And we'll be starting with the T11 and T13 category. In lane 1 there, Indian athlete Kumar Man. Lane 2, Ryota Fukonga, the Japanese athlete. Max Marzilla in lane 3 for Germany. Paul Barbant in lane 4 for France. They're the T13 athletes, and then 2 T11 athletes. Gauthier Marcunda of France in lane 5, who was the bronze medal winner in Tokyo. And Robbie Kozarczyk in lane 7, also in T11. Gosvek just on the outside then of the bronze medal winner. Quite a daunting task, really. So final checks being made for the first of the 400 meters. There's Kogosvek. Eye shield on. With the guide, just making sure that he's actually sorted as well, because obviously all the attention on the athletes, but of course the guide runners just keeping the athlete cool, very, very important. Keeping the athletes in lane, also keeping the athlete in front as they cross the line as well, vitally important, but also during the race as well. They need to be fully prepared. They need to be fully ready for their events. Get the attention obviously on the athlete, but never overlooked here, especially in this commentary box. So our first live action then on the track. Looks like just the 3 athletes taking part now. Kumara Man in lane 1. Actually, lane 2 for Kunga of Japan. Marzilla of Germany in 3. And then in lane 7, Kogosvek of Slovenia. So the 4 athletes here. And we're off and racing our first event on the track on day 2 in Nottwil, the World Para Athletics Grand Prix. This is the T13 and T11 400 meters. And as they go down the back straight, we'll see the stagger start to become apparent for who's in front. So far, Fukanga of Japan going well. Also, Amman. There's Marzilla as they come into the home straight. Marzilla starting to make ground on Fukanga. They've left a man behind. And these two are level. Marzilla in the red, far side. Fukanga in lane 2. What a race to start day 2. And it's just the Japanese athletes. Fukanga in a thriller to start things off with. In 3rd place, Kumara Man. Kogosvek in the T11 category wins his category. What a race to start things off. Ryota Fukanga of Japan. Brilliant race against Max Marzilla. And Fukunaga comes out on top. Well, hopefully that sets the standard for what we have to look forward to this afternoon. These 2 athletes neck and neck in the home straight. Certainly in front was Fukunaga as they came into the home straight and fighting back the German Marzilla. Marzilla then came alongside the Japanese athletes. Marzilla just on the line, not quick enough to reach the Japanese athlete. My word, it almost gets closer every time you see a replay. Fukunaga, though, with the victory by the barest of margins. A thriller in the first at Nottwil. Next on track, we're in T20 territory. We should have 2 athletes down at the start. Endi Nordrintini of Indonesia. And then Colombia Blanco of Great Britain. Columba Blanco, bronze medalist from Tokyo. As we watch the athletes in the first make their way to the athletes arena. Here at SPC, extremely well laid out. The facilities are absolutely top-notch, being the Swiss Paraplegic Centre. That's behind the back straight is where the athletes will come from and also then depart. Plenty of spectators will be down the home straight, all sorts of bouncy castles, etc. for spectators and facilities on the home straight. Really well laid out. If you ever get the chance of visiting Nottwil, there you can see in the background all of the research buildings and facilities just down the back straight. Really something special. Over on the far side, you've got the hills. There's a huge lake actually just before there as well. Really is the perfect location. And the track, as we know from yesterday, we know it historically, it is arguably, and I think it would be the top of many people's lists of fastest tracks around, especially when it comes to the wheelchair categories. And we proved that yesterday. Conditions ideal for fast times. I know everyone likes fast times, everyone likes world records, and just that slight breeze starting to pick up, which, to be honest, when it comes later on to the heats, and then if it stays like this tomorrow, the 100 meters, that'll be ideal. Straight down the home straight, but there's a long way to go before that. So slightly into the faces of the runners then in the 400 meters when it comes to the back straight, and it will be behind them as they make their way home.
Lane 4 from Argentina, Alexis Sebastian Chavez. Bahn 5 aus Österreich, Daniel Stutz. Lane number 6, France, Kerian Marcos. Lane number 7 from Mexico, Carlos Daniel Rodriguez Velasquez.
So it looks like we're jumping ahead then of one category. Looks like we're going forward to the T35 to T38. It's Kolik of Germany who's in lane 2. So T37, T36 and T38 athletes, in fact, all here. Paul Rube in lane 3 of Germany. Lane 4, Alexis Sebastian Chavez of Argentina. 4th in Tokyo. Kieran Malcoste of France in lane 6. T38 athlete. Rodriguez Velasquez in lane 7, Mexico. And Enriquez Torres of Mexico in lane 8. Paul Robb of Germany employing the top knot. Chavez of Argentina, just missing out on a medal in Tokyo, finished in 4th. Was behind by about 0.4 of a second in 4th. William Steadman of New Zealand getting the bronze medal. See the T36. Two Mexican athletes then in the outside 2 lanes. Enrique Torres in lane 8. There's 240, and that's Carlos Daniel Rodriguez Velazquez. And he's inside in lane 6 from France, Malcost, Kirill Malcost. He's the T38 athletes. A real mixture here. So T37, 36, 36, 37, 38, 37, and 38. Men's T35 to T38, 400 meters. Kolik of Germany in 2, Rob of Germany in 3, Chavez of Argentina in 4, Stutz, Austria in 5, Malcost of France in 6, Rodriguez Velasquez, Mexico 7, Enriquez Torres, Mexico in 8. Away and racing. Quick start by Rodriguez Velasquez, trying to make ground in lane 2, Kolik of Germany. As I mentioned before, T36, 37, and 38 athletes. And as they approach the halfway mark of this 400 meters, it looks a fairly level race. We'll expect to see Chavez of Argentina just starting to stamp his authority here. Again, 4th place in Tokyo. See the sky blue Argentina in lane 4 as they come into the home straight. And it's just that Chavez running a really good race is Kolik of Germany on the inside. Also in lane 6. And that's Malcost of France, T38 athletes. So the T38 athlete, Malcost of France, will cross the line first, followed by Chavez of Argentina, T36 in seconds. 17.26. Malcost has stopped the clock. And the T38 athletes wins the 400 meters. That time, obviously, not accurate, being a 400 meter race. If so, he would have broken every single record, and he would be the long-standing world record holder for the next 200 or 300 years. 56.06. More realistic time for the Frenchman. Really good performance, though, by Chavez. Again, it's got a T36 athlete there against a T38. Away very quickly, Chavez. Into his stride pattern very quickly. Malcost, not quite as quick, but down the back straight. Big, long stride on the Frenchman. And then the power in the home straight. Malcost beating Chavez. Good performance in 3rd by Rodriguez Velasquez, winning the T37 race. So the winner, Kirill Malcost, T38 of France. Winner of the T36, Alexis Sebastian Chavez. And the winner of the T37 was Carlos Daniel Rodriguez Velasquez.
Kugelstoßwettkampf nun die Argentinierin Marin Romina Fernandez, die sich installiert für ihre 6 Versuche. Und auf Bahn 7, Ayub Saxi aus Marokko, der 23-jährige Marokkaner, von Tokio, Goldmedaille über 400 Meter.
The next event is the men's 400 meters T45 to 64. And once again, a mixture here of classifications. 2 T47 athletes. Pradana of Indonesia in 6 and Sandy in lane 7. Sandy of Morocco, the gold medal winner in Tokyo, T47. There is the Paralympic champion. Lopez then in lane 3. Seplo of Thailand in 4. There we go, Campos of Chile standing up in lane 5. Radana, Indonesia in 6, and the Paralympic champion Sadni of Morocco in lane 7. Off and racing. Down the back straight. We'll expect Sadni to stamp his authority, especially on the T47 category over Pradana. And he's doing just that. Coming through also, Rigo Campos of Chile. But in the outside lane 7, Sadni of Morocco, the Paralympic champion, into the home straight. And look at this. Wins easily, 48.36. What a time. Tremendous performance by the Paralympic champion. 48.36. He won the gold medal in Tokyo, 47.38. That's a very good time. It's only a second away from the time. And he won the gold medal and has beaten Radana of Indonesia. Absolutely delighted with that. Sadly, no surprise as well. Running to a very, very high standard. Something that you would expect from a Paralympic champion. And let's press in lane 3. But it was Sadni in 7 where plenty of attention was on. Obviously, each category running against their fellow athletes. So the 2 T47 athletes in the outside 2. Sadni winning by about 2 seconds.
nämlich mit Bahn 2 aus Belgien. From Belgium, Peter Gozin. Bahn 3 from the Netherlands, lane 3, Stefan Rouge. Lane 4, Great Britain, Andrew Small. Lane 5 from Great Britain as well, James Freeman. He did the new European record yesterday over the 200s. Lane 6, representing Great Britain, Hugo Patterson-Knight. 7 from
Onto the T31 to T34. We've got Herman in lane 1 of Switzerland. Cousin of Belgium in 2. Stefan Rouge of the Netherlands in 3. Andrew Small of Great Britain in lane 4. James Freeman, Great Britain in 5. Hugo Patterson-Knight of Great Britain in lane 6. Roberto Michel Mauritius in 7. And Warwick Holmes, Australia in lane 8. Away and racing in this men's 400 meters, T33 and T34. Quick start there by Herman, the Swiss athlete in lane 1. In way outside, in the outside, Michel Mauritius going very quickly down the back straight. Roberto Michel very quickly away, the T34 athletes. And we'll be coming into the home straight. And we'll see the lead. Roberto Michel here of Mauritius. The T34 athlete stops the clock at 52.43. Tremendous time, waiting for second here. Stefan Rouge of the Netherlands. Close for third. It's just going to be in lane 5. James Freeman of Great Britain. We'll wait for the time. James Freeman crossing the line in third, but again, T33 winning his category. And we await the time of James Freeman. 52.41 no for Roberto Michel. That's a very, very quick time. Just over a second outside of a European record. If being Mauritius, it would have been the world he would have been looking at.
And we proudly present already the first record of today. It's an Asian continental record for Yapa Seapla from Thailand. New Asian record in 57.77 over the 400 meter. Congratulations, Yapa Seapla.
Well, confirmation there that Yafar Sepla of Thailand, T62, has broken the Asian record. So records breaking already here on day 2 of the World Paralympics Grand Prix in Nottwil.
Auch in der nächsten Serie werden wir einen Schweizer sehen. Auch hier wird auf Bahn 1 starten. Boilermitglied von Zentralschweiz aus Hochdorf.
T31 to T34, 400 meters. We are mitted on the inside for Switzerland. All T34 athletes. Lane 2, Lee Leclerc of France. Lane 3, Valid Gatilla of Tunisia. Lane 4, Austin Smink of Canada. Lane 5, Ben Rowlings, Great Britain. Lane 6, Henri Mani of Finland. Lane 7, Ahmed Nawad, UAE. And Reid McCracken of Australia in lane 8. McCracken 8 should be quickly away. Silver medalist in the 100 meters T34. Got Valid Gatilla, the gold medalist in lane 3. Very quickly away, down the back straight. Austin Smink finished 7th in Tokyo. Over the 100 meters, many of these athletes would have then competed over 800 meters as well. Ben Rowlings finished in 9th in Tokyo. There's Reid McCracken in the Aussie gold. And we wait them to come into the home straight. It's in lane 3 with Valid Gatilla, the 100-meter gold medalist, and he's going to stop the clock at 50.01. In second, Reid McCracken. In third, Austin Smink of Canada. Just outside the 50-second mark. He's dipped under the 50-second mark on a few occasions, the world record holder. And he was only just under a second away from that record. Fantastic time from the 100-meter gold medalist. He takes the 400-meter T34. Walid Gatilla of Tunisia dominating the T34 category. Second, Reid McCracken of Australia in the outside lane, having to glance on his inside on occasion to see where the Tunisian was. And in third was Austin Smink of Canada. There's Lee Leclerc, the Canadian. The issue that Reid McCracken has is the fact that he's in lane 8. Can't keep his eyes on what Gatilla was doing. Just had to race his own race. And then out of the back straights, he would have then seen the Paralympic champion. Just outside of 50 seconds, brilliant time. 4th place for Henri Mani, followed by Ahmed Nawad. Confirmation of the times in our previous race. Roberto Michel was absolutely fantastic. 52.41. We're going to go back to the T51-52 category. Just the two athletes. Marcus Peronu-Daly of Great Britain. We're taking on a Costa Rican athlete, Fonseca. Fonseca, T51. Daly, Great Britain, 52. Plenty of support there locally for Marcus. Marcus Peronu-Daly. T52 again taking on T51 athletes Fonseca. But cries of come on Marcus as they go down the back straight and already a wide margin of lead. Daly then already 200 meters from home. T52 keeping his work up. Plenty of support then in the home straight, especially for Marcus Peronu-Daly. Keeping up his work as the support keep up their work. Into the home straight, just correcting the chair. Working hard. Will have his own time to aim for. 1 minute and 2.57 for Marcus Peronu-Daly of Great Britain. Very good time, just a couple of seconds outside of the European record. And the one thing with the World Paralympics at Nottwil is if there's tremendous support for one athlete, that support will remain for all of the athletes, just as they are cheering on Fonseca of Costa Rica. Wins the T51 category. T52. Marcus Peronu-Daly. We'll see where that time sits with the athletes in our next heat. Again, T52. Powerfully away, the British athletes getting up to speed down the back straight and getting going for the full 400 and clocking a very good time. Be very interesting to see how that time then matches up to our next heat of T52 athletes. Full result for the previous T31 to T34. In fact, it was all T34. And Vali Katila just outside of 50 seconds.
53. Wir starten von außen nach innen. Wir starten mit Bahn 8. Lane number 8 from Portugal, Mario Trindade.
So continuing with T52. In lane 1, Bryce Chalaise of France, followed by in lane 2, Naoki Matsumoto of Japan. Lane 3, Thomas Georg-Pichler of Austria. Lane 4, Swiss athlete Bosch, beat Bosch in lane 4. Lane 5, Torres Ortiz of Colombia. Lane 6, Skutas of Lithuania. McIntosh of Australia in lane 7. Trindade of Portugal in 8. Men's T52 400 meters. Georg-Pichler in lane 3, fairly slowly away. Look at the pace. Pouring from the outside, Torres Ortiz of Colombia, very quickly away. Also now making ground, Sam McIntosh of Australia. Expect the Austrian Thomas Georg-Pichler to then start to make a move from lane 3. 200 meters to go, and the Austrian now starting to make up ground. Finished in 6th place in the Paralympic final a year ago. As they come into the home straight. Still going very quickly. It's Bosch of Switzerland, and also on his outside, Torres Ortiz, trying to be closed down by the Austrian, but it's going to be the quick start in Torres Ortiz, who beats Georg-Pichler of Austria. Torres Ortiz of Colombia, very quickly away, and has just managed to hang on there. The Austrian will be only disappointed with that. One person who isn't disappointed, Cristian Eduardo Torres Ortiz. Tremendous win, fantastic start. You could say that the race was won at the start. Built up enough of the lead to then just hang on from the orange wheels of Thomas Georg-Pichler. Very competitive field for the T52 400 meters. You see the blue there? There's the quick start by Torres Ortiz. Look at that. Past the Lithuanian very quickly. and maintained that pace down the back straight. And here, as they reached the 200, was certainly in front. And it was a case of knowing there was going to be closing pace by the Austrian. Gers Pichler in lane 3 in the orange. He comes through. And I think many, including myself, expected actually to pick up Torres Ortiz and win. Wasn't the case. Torres Ortiz has beaten the Austrian, and Skukas of Lithuania. That's a very good performance in third. It's confirmation of Marcus Perinu-Daly, his time in the previous race. On to T53 now. Jonas Balbert of Belgium will be in lane 1. Matthias Rusum, nice close up in lane 2. Matthias Jonny in lane 3, Great Britain, wearing 168. And just to his outside, the Brazilian Fernandes de Silva in lane 4. Here is the Brazilian. Hitoshi Matsunaga in lane 5 in the green. Lane 6. Al-Qashri of Saudi Arabia. Lane 7. Hiramushi of Japan. And just in lane 8. Sumitani also of Japan. I think there is an athlete actually in lane 8. So it will be just the 7 go here. T53 400 meter men's. Away and racing, quickly away. Al-Qashri of Saudi Arabia, already down the back straights. Looks to be in front. Fernandes de Silva going nicely. So on the Great Britain. There is the Saudi Arabian athlete, who in the first 200 looked to be just in front, but there's now challenges on the inside. And as they level off into the home straight in lane 3, Matthias Jonny of Great Britain is streaking clear here. And he's looking to set a very quick time indeed, 52.17, and takes the T53. In second place was Al-Qashri, the quick starting Saudi Arabian. But he knew there was going to be challenges on the inside, and one major challenge, and it was the British athlete, Matthias Jonny, and has ultimately won that very easily. Excellent win there for the British athletes. Quick start in Saudi Arabia, and then in third. Wait for in second. Wait for third place.
Am Start der Konkurrenz und mit dabei. Einmal Schweiz, einmal Deutschland, einmal Frankreich.
There's the quick starts out in lane 7. But again, as the camera then panned across from this 200-meter point, and there's the British athlete in lane 3, on top by around about 5 meters into the home straight, and that just grew and grew as Jomny went further and further clear. Third place went to lane 4, Fernandes de Silva of Brazil, behind the Saudi Arabian Al-Khoucheiri, but he went to Great Britain, and Motors Jomny in lane 3 wins the men's 400-meter T53. Number of heats now of T54 racing. Five, in fact. Whether these heats maybe just moved up into 4, we'll just wait and see, depending on how many athletes, but I think they are going to go with the 5 in T54. First heat then of the 5 in lane 3, Thomas van Horst of the Netherlands. Cormac Ryan of Australia in lane 4. Corey Crombie of Australia in 5. Yana Laprim of Indonesia in lane 6. Stiegenthaler of Switzerland, and Bromiman also of Switzerland. Well, Janelle Alapin very quickly away. And well, if they come into the home straight, it's all lane 6. Janelle Arapin is clear here of Thomas van Horst. 48.75 stops the clock. That's a very, very good time. In second, lane 3, Van Horst. Crombie of Australia in third. Well, 48.73. It's not far off a time that would have been clocked in Paralympic final. Just to put that into some context, again, only a second away from times clocked in the Paralympic final. But obviously we do have the 5 heats here. So that's a very quick time for heat 1 of these 5. Tremendous display then from the Indonesian Janelle Arapin, and has taken the first of the 5 heats in some style, you may say. Heat 2 of the T54 men's 400 meters. There's a shot of lane 1, Carlos Anker. It's Dario Struder of Switzerland out wide in lane 8. At lane 2, Jagodinski of Germany. Lane 3, Quintero of Spain. Lane 4, Uzer of Mauritius. Lane 5, Mr. Ranta of Finland. Lane 6, Jason Robinson, the United States. Lane 7, Gunenther of Germany. And lane 8, Struder of Switzerland. Uzer of Mauritius, all in black. It's the Spanish athlete Quintero. He's to pick out in the Spain red and yellow. Second heat of 5 of the men's T54 400 meters. Away and racing. Already on Struder's wheel is Gunenther of Germany, going very quickly in the orange in lane 7. Now being followed by Jason Robinson of the United States on his inside in lane 6. Also pace from Restauranta of Finland in the blue, just in lane 6 there on the inside, in lane 5 on the inside of Jason Robinson. Now on his side, on his inside, Uzer of Mauritius starts to make a move. And as they level off into the home straight, also the Spanish athlete Quintero. So anyone's race here as they come into the home straight. And it's in lane 3, Quintero, Spain, who leads Finland. Restauranta in lane 6, Robinson, USA in 3rd. And it's going to be a win for Spain. Win in lane 3 for Jose Manuel Quintero, beating into 2nd, Nico Restauranta of Finland, who was only narrowly in 2nd. Jason Robinson put pressure on the Finnish athlete in lane 6, but ultimately in 3rd. A win for Spain. After a quick start initially by the German athletes, Gunenther in lane 7, all of a sudden the cavalry arrived on the inside. First it was Robinson, then it was Restauranta of Finland, and then eventually Quintero of Spain, who took the race, followed by Restauranta and then Robinson. Carlos Anker on the inside. Here we can see the German in the orange quickly away. Then shows up Jason Robinson, who has made up grounds on the Finnish athlete on his inside, but not enough for 2nd. But Quintero, Spain, in lane 3 wins. Very narrow for 2nd, but it does indeed go to Finland. Restauranta. Robinson then in 3rd, and the Mauritius athletes, Mefuz Uzer, came through for 4th place. Stunning day in Switzerland. Perfect conditions for racing and some very good times already. We have 2 more heats then of the T54 men's 400 meters. There's confirmation of Vianel's Arapin's time. Tremendous, 48.73.
Wieder Superathleten am Start und auch die Schweiz ist in diesem Heat vertreten. Im Kampf 1 vom ältesten der Schweiz, Lukas Wiemann. Bahn 2, Lane 2, France, Thibaut Duro. Lane 3 from France, Yasser Musangaya. 4 from Australia, Samuel Rizzo. 5 from the United States.
So 2 more heats then to go. In lane 1, Fazil Al-Raji of Kuwait. In lane 2, there's Michael McCabe of Great Britain. In fact, we'll just do that again with in lane 1, Lucas Willem of Switzerland. Lane 2, that was Thibaut Durat from my eyes of France. Masenganya then of France in lane 3. Rizzo, Australia in lane 4. Evan Carell of the United States in 5. Ludwig Malta of Austria in lane 6. Tristan Joshua Diems of Germany in 7, and Paul Singer, there he is, in lane 8 of France. So 2 heats to go. Just getting ahead of myself there with the final heat. There's Leman, the Swiss athlete, on the inside. This could be quite a close heat, actually. Looking in the centre, you got Rizzo in 4. Of Australia in the orange. In lane 5, Evan Carell, United States, just being brought forward now by the officials. Just to see how Singer gets on in the outside. Lane 8, imagine might go pretty quickly here, early. Also then the 2 French athletes in lanes 2 and 3, Durat and Masanganya. Good heat, this.
Let's go.
Off and racing. There's the quick start from Paul Singer in lane 8. And is already away from the German names. Down the back straight. Looks to be Singer then in front. Now here comes the power on the inside. Ludwig Malta, Evan Carell, and also Samuel Rizzo. 200 meters to go in this men's T54, 400 meters. And as they come through in towards the home straight, Evan Carell, Samuel Rizzo, also Ludwig Malta. See the orange of Samuel Rizzo, but it's on his inside. And Yasser Musanga in lane 3. And it's Musanganya who wins. Musanganya in lane 3 has beaten Samuel Rizzo in 4. Durat came through in 2 for 3rd place, 48.79. Good time by the Frenchman. We expected pace on the outside early. That arrived. But then on the inside, the likes of Samuel Rizzo and especially Yasser Musanganya of France, who wins the penultimate heat. Very good race. Panned out really how we maybe thought here. Paul Singer in lane 8 going quickly away. Had to, really. There's the start of Williman of Switzerland. But then the power on the inside, the likes of Samuel Rizzo and Yasser Musanganya into the home straight. Musanganya was already 2 to 3 clear of the Australian. 3rd place, just in lane 2 to Thibaut Durat. But the penultimate heat of the men's T54, 400 meters, goes to the Frenchman, Yasser Musanganya. Now, with the rejigging of some of the heats, in fact, we might actually have two here, two more remaining. So good news when it comes to T54. We've got more and more. So this now will be the penultimate heat. Al-Raji will indeed be in lane 1 this time. Two British athletes. Michael McCabe will be in lane 2, Great Britain. Rens van der Watlat of the Netherlands in 3. Smoky Ikolma of Japan will be a danger in 4. Alexandra Dupont of Canada should be in 5. Esa-Pekka Matila of Finland in 6. Gabriel Emmanuel Sosa of Argentina in lane 7. And the second of the British athletes, Dylan Labrouille in lane 8. It's Matila of Finland in lane 6. Sosa, the Argentinian, just on his outside. Fazil Al-Raji of Kuwait then in lane 1. Set in position. Michael McCabe, Great Britain then in lane 2. Lane 3, you got the yellow helmet, Van der Watlat of the Netherlands. Ikolma of Japan in lane 4. He's ready. 5, Dupont of Canada. 6, Matila of Finland. 7, Sosa, Argentina. And in the white in lane 8, Labrouille of Great Britain. Racing in the men's T54 400 metres. Start in lane 7, Sosa of Argentina. Up alongside Labrouille of Great Britain. Trying to live with the early pace of Sosa is Matila and his inside of Finland. Going well, Dupont of Canada. And Coleman now coming through of Japan. Also pace on the inside, Al-Raji of Kuwait. 200 metres to go. Ikolma of Japan, Dupont of Canada. As they come into the home straight. Shouts of Go Dylan from the crowd in lane 5, Dupont of Canada. In front from Al-Raji of Kuwait, and it's Dupont who wins, beating Al-Raji into second. Alexandra Dupont of Canada in 48.18. Good race on the inside by Fazil Al-Raji, was always there. As they entered the 200, was in front of 1 or 2 athletes on his outside, and obviously with the shorter route on the inside. As soon as they levelled off in the home straight, was in second place and held on to that second place. In fact, I think closing actually on the winner, which was the Canadian Alexandre Dupont in lane 5. So Al-Raji on the inside, maybe level with in lane 3, Van der Lat and also Ikolma, who's done very well in the home straight, but it was lane 5 And Alexander Dupont with the win. Van der Voortlaat's in third then, narrowly from Ikoma. But just away from the winner, a lot of credit to the Kuwaiti athlete Al Raji in lane 1 to pull away from the likes of Van der Voortlaat and also Ikoma. But the win goes to Alexander Dupont of Canada in lane 5.
Und aus der Bahn gibt es noch eine Action. 4 Meter Rennen, die letzte sind der Rennen, bevor die zu den Damen wechseln. Von den Bahnen 1 bis 8, Lane 1, Australia.
The final T54 men's 400 meters. In lane 1, Luke Bailey of Australia. Lane 2 is Isaiah Christoph of Canada. Lane 3, the first of 3 British athletes, the white helmet there of Nathan Maguire, 6th in Tokyo. Lane 4, Leo-Pekka Tati of Finland. Lane 5 is Richard Chiesaro of Great Britain, the European record holder set here in Nottwil. Lane 6, Jake Lappin of Australia. Lane 7, Daniel Sidbury of Great Britain. And Julien Cassello of France in lane 8. There's Nathan Maguire, as mentioned, 6th in Tokyo, just ahead of Chisaro, fellow British athlete. He's in lane 5. Men's 400-meter T54. Bailey in 1, Christoph in 2, Maguire in 3, Titi in 4, Chisaro in 5, Lappin in 6, Sidbury in 7, and Casoli in 8. Away and racing in the men's T54 400 meters. And quickly on the wheel of Casoli is Sidbury of Great Britain, who will lead into the back straights. Keeping pace is Lappin of Australia. Also now Nathan Maguire in lane 3 as they come in towards the final 200 meters. Maybe just Sidbury of Great Britain. Now Chisaro starts to move in lane 5 of Great Britain as they come into the home straight. Sidbury in lane 7, but it's lane 3 now. Nathan Maguire with pace. Nathan Maguire into the home straight, narrowly from Sidbury. Maguire from Sidbury close. Sidbury near side in lane 7 has maybe just got back up. 47.16. Well, what a finish here. It looks to be Daniel Sidbury. Certainly Nathan Maguire was in front with around 50 meters to go, but then through came Daniel Sidbury in lane 7. Well, we'll have to wait for the slow-mo here. I think it's Daniel Sidbury. Very, very close. Two British athletes fighting over the final T54 events. Certainly at the top of the 100-meter straight, it was Nathan Maguire in front. But then through Daniel Sidbury after a very quick start alongside the French athlete early on, Julien Casoli. Then on the inside, the likes of Chisaro, also Jake Lappin. But the Nathan Maguire in front into the 100 meters. And Daniel Sidbury, though, fighting back in lane 7, and I think fighting back for the victory. Close, but it looks to be Sidbury's race. Let's see on the replay. There's Luke Bailey on the inside. This is where Sidbury got alongside the French athlete on his outside. And then in the pink, Lapin appeared. White helmet in lane 3 is Nathan Maguire. I think in front here by around a metre, but bang on the line, fighting back. Daniel Sidbury in 7 by inches, wins by inches. Beating Nathan Maguire into second, and in third, lane 5, Richard Chisaro rounds off a 1-2-3 for Great Britain. So times for the previous heat. It'll be very interesting to see the times for the final heats. The 1-2-3 for Great Britain. Sidbury beating Maguire, Chisaro in third. Now, the 400-metre will continue. We're in the women's T12 and T13 categories. The men have had their turn. Now, the women's competition. T12 and T13, just the one T12 athlete from Indonesia, Putri. And 3 T13 athletes, Rosette of France in 5. Ulaya of Indonesia in 6, and Turkey of France in lane 7. So the T12 athletes running with her guide. We made Putri of Indonesia. And then 3 T13 athletes, Lucille Rosette in lane 5 of France. In lane 6 is Putri Ulaya of Indonesia. And in lane 7, Celia, Turkey of France. Women's T12 and T13 400 metres. Often racing then in the women's 400 metres competition, T12 and T13 to get us underway. 1 T12 athletes in lane 3, Putri of Indonesia, and then 3 T13 athletes taking on each other in lanes 5, 6 and lane 7. It's lane 5, Lucille Rosette, who is in front. She's already gone past Putri of Indonesia just on her outside, and is now running down Celia Turkey of France. Rosette of France to the right of your screen. To the left is Turkey. So it's France 1 and 2 here. They've left behind Ulaya of Indonesia into the home straight, and fighting back is Turkey in the outside lane, and he's in front by 3 or 4 metres. Celia Turkey of France only by a small margin as Lucille Rosette fights back in lane 5. Rosette closing the margin, but it's going to be Turkey who wins the T13 race, beating Rosette of France in a French 1-2. 102.53 the time. Putri Aurelia of Indonesia finishes in 3rd and winning the T12 competition, Putri of Indonesia. Well, a really interesting race between these pair of French athletes. Lucille Rosette went off very, very quickly and was certainly in front, but as they levelled into the home straight, it was Celia Turkey who fought back. Then Lucille Rosette, with maybe just a last gasp of energy around 50 metres from home, certainly closed the margin, if indeed was alongside her fellow French athletes. But then Celia Turkey had more in reserve and in the end runs out what looked to be on the line, a comfortable margin of victory, but it was anything but during the race. See the start once again. Lane 5, Lucille Rosette was very quickly away and in front for the first half of the race. But here is where Celia Turkey was in front. The last gasp here by Rosette. This is where she closed, 50 metres to go, and she was only a metre down then, but she saw on the line, and there was plenty of daylight between the pair. Good race to start things off for the women's competition. Well, there's confirmation of the men's 400 metre T54. It's the 1-2-3 for Great Britain. Sidbury winning by, in 47.14, winning by 5/100ths of a second from Nathan Maguire, 47.19. And then Richard Chiasaro rounds off a 1-2-3 for Great Britain. 0.05 of a second between the front pair. Women's 400 metres continuing at T20 to T47 here. So a mixture of categories. Amanda Serna of Chile finished 6th in the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Serna of Chile in 3, Enchalat of Thailand in 4, Moos of Germany in 5, Ulsteritz of France in lane 6, Sita of Indonesia in 7, and Bros of Germany in lane 8. And Nelly Moos, an imposing figure in the yellow, and she is certainly leading here, and she's got athletes on the inside Inchtalot, and also now Cerner coming through. And Amanda Cerner, the T47 athlete, should really be in front into the home straight, but going very well. Nelly Moos of Germany. Now starting to move on the outside is Sesa of Indonesia, as they come into the home straight. In lane 3 is Amanda Cerner of Chile. 6th in Tokyo. The T47 athlete's going to win here in the T47 race against Inchtalot of Thailand. Cerner with the win. Second was on the outside, Sesa of Indonesia, followed by the Nelly Moos. 101.91. Just under 2 seconds away from the time she ran in Tokyo. Amanda Cerner then winning the T47 contest against Inchtalot of Thailand. The T20 athlete Sesa of Indonesia. The only T20 athletes in this in second. And there's Nelly Moos. That was a good performance. The T38 athletes beating a fellow German Bros. T38 in lane 8. There's the times from the previous race, the 1-2 for France, and it was not a lot between the pair, 102.56, 103.33 to start the women's competition off with a real thriller. Now, speaking of thrillers, strap yourselves in for this. Catherine de Brunner, double world record breaker yesterday, and she is on track for the women's T53 400 meters, the Paralympic champion of a year ago. Taking on Samantha Kinghorn of Great Britain once again, who won the silver medal in Tokyo. There's Catherine de Brunner in lane 4. Samantha Kinghorn will be on her inside in 3. I think she'll be happy with that. Angela Ballard of Australia in lane 5. Yen Huang on her outside in lane 6 of the USA. Jessica Lewis of Bermuda in lane 7. And Anita Schauer, Swiss athletes, in lane 8. Ballard in 5. 4th in Tokyo. So we've got 1st, 2nd and 4th from the Paralympic Games here in Nottwil. Away and racing in the women's T at 53, 400 metres. Quickly away, Jessica Lewis looking on the inside. There's Samantha Kinghorn and also now Catherine De Bruyne as they go down the back straight, and it's De Bruyne who is going clear. She's left behind already Samantha Kinghorn, who's just trying to cling on here on her inside in lane 3 and is doing so to her credit. 200 metres to go. The gap is still around about 2 or 3 metres. It's certainly Catherine De Bruyne in front as they come into the home straight. De Bruyne in lane 4. Eyes on the clock once again as they come into the home straight. It's Catherine De Bruyne. Well, the record is 53.32. What is she going to do here? Catherine De Bruyne, look at the clock, and she's broken another world record. 2 on day 1, and she's broken 1 on day 2 here. And she's not only broken it, she's absolutely smashed it once again. Catherine De Bruyne in the form of her life. The Paralympic champion wins here in Nottwil and has smashed the world record by over a second. 52.21. What an athlete. And what a meeting she's having. Well, that's frankly amazing. 52.21. The world record of 53.32 has been absolutely annihilated here. I've foolishly written down the European record of 53.72. That was destroyed as well. My word, Catherine De Bruyne. Well, to try and top what she did yesterday would have been nigh on impossible for any mere mortal, but not for Catherine De Bruyne. The track is red hot. She at the moment is in the form of her life, and she has absolutely smashed the world record. The T53 women's 400 metre world record has gone, and it has been blown apart. Well, let's see this once again. There's Samantha Kinghorn, who down the back straight I thought was living with Catherine De Bruyne, and then from 200 metres, all of a sudden, the Swiss superstar just found another gear, all 3. And, well, look at that. There's the gold and silver from Tokyo. But here, there's absolute daylight between the pair, a world record. Well, that was something special. Nothing Kinghorn could do about De Bruyne. She knows. She said in an interview yesterday that she didn't know about the times on the first of those world records. I think she knew there. She knows the form she's in. We'll be hearing from Catherine De Bruyne in a short while, so make sure you stick around for that because, well, we've got more action here. And we're into T54, plenty of T54 races to come in the 400 metres. I make it 3 heats as we try and regain our composure, really, in the commentary box. I think a cold drink will be in order soon. There's confirmation over the loudspeaker about the world record, and here she is.
Catherine De Bruyne, the woman of the hour, I can say. Yesterday you said maybe we see each other again today for a 3rd time, and you made that dream come true again.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we meet again. It was sort of a joke yesterday. It was a really tough race. I felt that I had a really good start. And then at the 200 meter point, there was like a wall, of course, for everybody. But then I was really going a little bit slower, and then I could luckily pick it up again and do a really good finish. I'm really happy about the race.
You said it, the wind is strong today, but it looks like it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, a lot of people always say it looks so easy when you ride, but it's a little a poker face. It's not that easy how it looks like. But when you are riding, you forget the wind and stuff, and you just are in the race mode. And I know it's only one lap, so it's gonna be fine.
It's an unbelievable and historical weekend for you already. I don't know what else may come this weekend, but hey, tonight you open a bottle of champagne.
Not tonight, but maybe on Sunday. It's difficult for me to realize all those success because it's going really fast, one race after the other. And I think it's gonna take me a while to digest all that success.
Absolutely. Take this time and just enjoy and let the people cheer for you and enjoy everything. Thank you so much and hope to see you again.
Thank you very much. And thanks you for all the cheering. It's nice to race with all the crowd.
Thank you.
Lovely words there from Catherine. 3 races, 3 wins, 3 world records. T54 category now for the women, over 400 metres. Lane 3, Amy Fisher of Australia. Lane 4, Eden Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain. Lane 5 is Vanessa Cristina de Souza of Brazil. Lane 6 is Shauna Bouquet of Ireland. In lane 7 in the red, Jorgensen of Denmark. And then lane 8, Abdullah of Norway. So the first of 3 T54 400 metres. Starting lane 3 by Amy Fisher. Also then in lane 7, that's Jorgensen in the red of Norway. Fairly level though, as they go down the back straight. In lane 5, De Souza of Brazil starts to make a move in the yellow and looks to be in front, but there's Rainbow Cooper who's keeping tabs on De Souza, and Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain now moves alongside and ahead of De Souza. It's tight between the pair, but Eden Rainbow Cooper is starting to get up on top here into the home straight. In lane 4, Eden Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain by 2 to 3 metres from Cristina De Souza as they come towards the line. 30 metres to go, and Eden Rainbow Cooper is going to win here and under the minute mark, 59.91. In second place was Vanessa Cristina De Souza, and in third looks to be just Shauna Bouquet of Ireland. It was very tight for third, but I had the Irish athlete down in third place just, but a win for Eden Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain, and she's delighted with that victory. Says congratulations to Vanessa Cristina De Souza. An excellent race between the pair, but it was in that final 200 metres. In fact, I'd say actually between 200 and 300 metres that Eden Rainbow Cooper managed to just pull alongside then De Souza and was always just going to edge clear and stamped her authority late on. Well, there's confirmation of the time of Catherine de Bruyne, 52.21. Well, what a world record that is. That's more than a second. The previous record was 53.32. Wow. So beating the old world record by 1.12 seconds. Very close for third. And it will just go to Ireland. Shauna just in front. So winning the first heat then for Great Britain and Eden Rainbow Cooper. 2 more heats of the T54 to come. Heat 2. And we've got 8 athletes in these final 2 as they make their way down to the starts. There is the start list. In lane 1 is Catherine Cole of Luxembourg. She's on the inside. In lane 2, Valeriara of Argentina. Lane 3, the first of 2 Brazilians, Jessica Soares, and then in lane 4 is Aline dos Santos Rocha. Lane 5, from Belgium, is Lea Beikula. 2 Swiss athletes. Mussinelli in lane 6 and Schultes in lane 7. And then the Finnish athlete in lane 8 is Sini Pulkeri. Mussinelli. She's ready in lane 6. Could be a fairly close race, this. For early pace, maybe by Kula, possibly on the outside as well. Pulkeri. Second of the women's T54 400 meters. Off and racing then in the women's T54 400 meters. And good early pace by Sini Pulkeri then in lane 8. Also quickly away on her inside. In fact, the 2 Swiss athletes have started nicely. And now coming through is Beikula in lane 5. Down the back straight, Beikula of Belgium in front. From the 2 Swiss athletes, Mussinelli in lane 6 and in lane 7, Schultes also of Switzerland. But in 5, it's Beikula of Belgium as they come into the home straight. Beikula is clear by 10 meters or so. From in second now, just on her inside, to Santos of Brazil, who's racing for second alongside Mussinelli. It's Beikula with the win. In second was the Santos, and in third, Mussinelli. Strong race there for Lea Beikula of Belgium, 57.92. Thought maybe blasting off from the front would be her tactic. In fact, I think it was a fairly measured start, actually, from the Belgium athlete, and she knew just to go with the pace thrown on the outside would be fine, and then down the back straight is where she really started to pull clear. I think there's plenty more in the tank for Beikula, and she wins the penultimate heat of the women's T54 in some style. Second, a good run there by Aline dos Santos Rocha of Brazil. And Alicia Musinelli was in third for Switzerland. See there in lane 5, wasn't electric away, but she knew what she had to beat. And it was here at the end of the back straight where she started to really dominate. Baykula then went clear, and it was race over in terms of the win. Good battle for second. Dos Santos Rocha getting on top of Musinelli for second. Previous race times confirmed, and Eden Rainbow Cooper will be delighted to be under the minute mark there for her win in the first of the T54.
Willkommen zur letzten Serie auf der Paralympic an diesem Vormittag. Die Schweiz auch vertreten in dieser Serie und das gleich doppelt.
Final event on track of the morning session here in Nottwil, and it's the third and final women's T54 400 metres. Finalists here from Tokyo. We'll start in lanes 1 and 2. Two Swiss athletes here. Patricia Erkes in lane 1. And in fact, a Japanese athlete in lane 2 is Momoka Murakawa. Lane 3 from Germany, Merlin Meunier, who finished 8th in the Paralympic final in Tokyo. In lane 4, the Swiss athletes is Alexandra Helbling. Lane 5 from Mauritius, Maria Manuel Alphonse, who finished in 6th in Tokyo. On her outside in lane 6 is Melanie Woods of Great Britain. Lane 7, Amanda Karcha of Finland. In lane 8 from the United States is Jenna Fesimaya. So Alphonse in lane 5. In the whites with the black helmets. Meunier in 3. So keep a lookout for the likes of Melanie Woods. And also on the inside, see how Murakawa of Japan gets on. But it could be close here for the win. There's only half a second between Meunier and Alphonse in the Paralympic final. Away and racing for the final track event then of this morning session. Very quickly away, Kataja of Finland already past Fesimaya of the United States. Followed her is Melanie Woods and also now Alphonse of Mauritius. Looking to see where Meunier is. Meunier going nicely and just trying to live with the early pace of Alphonse, who's looking to dominate early here as they have 200 metres to go. Alphonse in lane 5 here. Starting to close the likes of Helbling and also Meunier. But as they come into the home straights, it's lane 5, Alphonse of Mauritius. Look at lane 1 there, Erkes of Switzerland going very well. And also Alphonse outside, Melanie Woods racing very prominently, but it's Alphonse with the win. Beats Erkes of Switzerland in lane 1. And then in 6, Melanie Woods in 3rd, ahead of the likes of Merlin Meunier of Germany. Brilliant race to round things off. Very quick time as well. 56 seconds. Too far off the time she set in Tokyo. But a win for Maria Manuel Alphonse of Mauritius, but she didn't have it her own way, and it wasn't the expected challenge by Melanie Meunier. Patricia just on the inside of Switzerland. That's a stunning performance. And also by Melanie Woods, who obviously would have had Alphonse on her inside, or when Alphonse went by Woods, Melanie Woods has managed to live with the eventual winner and finished in third. It's confirmation of the previous heat, where Lee Bakula was dominated, beating De Santos, who was only narrowly ahead of Musinelli, and it was going to be equally tight between second and third there in our final T54 race. But it was just the Swiss athlete then in second ahead of Melanie Woods. But Maria Manuel Alphonse wins our final track event of the morning. This Swiss athlete got away nicely. We'll know the track. This is where Alphonse really started to dominate. And a lot of credit there to Melanie Woods. You would have seen Alphonse go past by some meters, but fighting back in lane 6, closing all the time, and only 2 or 3 meters off the eventual winner, finishing in third, Melanie Woods. Now, whilst all the excitement on the track, including world records, etc., was happening, there was plenty of events going on the infield. You can find these on the schedule. If you go to Power Athletics website, you'll be able to find the start list and also the schedule for the next couple of days as well. And we've had the sitting shot put competition, and we've also had the men's javelin, women's shot put, and also it won't be long until the T11, T12 long jump as well.
etwas beruhigen, dass sie sich dann ihren Geist ganz genau ablenken können. Da ist jetzt also wirklich Präzision gefragt. Nur noch eine Information für alle Athletinnen und Athleten. Die Bahn ist jetzt offen, allerdings sind nur die Bahnen 4 bis 8 offen. The track is now open for all athletes, but only it will play for until 8. Also Bahn 4 bis 8 sind nur für alle Athletinnen und Athleten offen, aber nur die Bahn 4 bis 8. Damit ist die Vorbereitung
Peter.
So that was the end of the javelin, also the end of the shot puts. Long jump to follow on the field. Looking at the times this afternoon, we have 500 meters, 5,000 meters, and also the 100-meter heats. The 5,000 meters gets underway local time at 2 o'clock here in Switzerland. And then the start of the heats, the 100-meter heats, will be from 3:45 this afternoon. So 3:45, the start of the 100-meter heats. But the action on the track will get back underway local time here in Switzerland at 2 o'clock for the 5,000 meters.
Braucht ihr keinen Code oder so? Nein, es hat eigentlich alles gehen. Jetzt halt mal. Het is echt een perk als... Warte. Wenn brauchst du mich nachher wieder am Viertel vor 2 oder halb über 2? Soll ich wieder da sein? Okay. Gut.
The long jump competition just about to get underway. The long jump pit and Royal just getting its final brushing and raking over. And there's a fine indication of how some of these athletes will actually take part in this event. Only a few athletes here taking part in the long jump, the women's T11 to T13, one T11 athlete and two in the T12 category. And then in the men, it will be just two in the T11. So the women's competition, T11, T12, which There's one athlete in the T11, and she's from France, Adela Boulaglem. Boulaglem. He's alongside two T12 athletes from Japan, Uran Sawada and the Italian Anna Maria Mencomli. So Mencomli taking on one of their athletes. And Carboni, I haven't actually seen as yet. And Carboni we'll just have to wait and see. Wind to the backs of the athletes then in the long jump. A freshening breeze here. You heard the interview with Catherine de Brunner saying how windy it was. Didn't put her off when breaking the world record, another one. It's the Japanese athlete Uran Sawada, and she gets a valid jump in. That'll be a no jump then for the Italian, who is here, Anna Maria Mencaboni. There's two male athletes in the T11 category, both from Azerbaijan. Elchin Muradov being the first of those. And then he'll be followed by Togrul Humbatov. So the two women and the men will compete alongside each other, which I think with these five athletes is certainly the sensible option. Both T11 athletes in the men's.
Absprung der sehbehinderten Athletinnen und Athleten. Leider ein ungültiges Versuch, aber es verbleiben hier noch 5 Sprünge. Als nächstes sehen wir den zweiten Versuch der Französin Delia Fürschlet.
On to round 2. And a straight run through for the first of the second round of jumps. Like Liam of France running straight through will be a no jump. More information on the schedule, make sure you head over to the World Paralympics website and you'll find the schedule for the rest of the day, along with also what's happening on the final day tomorrow. Also, you can find all the results and the latest news. Make sure you stay up to date on our social media. If you head over to Twitter and you go to Paralympics, you'll be able to find all of the highlights, especially those world records broken yesterday and this morning by Catherine de Bruyne. Certainly the star here in Nottwil. With the cows know on the far side what's been happening. They run Sawada next. And Sawada gets a valid jump.
Ihr zweiter Sprung ging auf 4,95 Meter, 4,95 Meter.
$4.95 then for Sawada in round 2. Mencaboni of Italy, T12 athlete, looking to get a valid jump in. And that will be a valid jump for Anna Maria.
Es ist ja im Wettkampf Sehbehinderung so, da muss ich mich korrigieren, kein Balken, den sie treffen müssen, sondern eine
3 meters 74 for Mencaboni in round 2.
3 Meter 74, ihr erstes gültiges Resultat.
Objektiv sind auch nicht so schwer wie früher. Maar extra schwer mit. Ja.
Second attempt, second jump of Azerbaijan's Elchin Muradov. First jump was 5 meters 65. The second one.
No jump for Muradov.
Versuch von Elchin Muradov aus Aserbaidschan. Der erste zählte jedoch 5 Meter 65. Und es folgt nun sein Landsmann, Ogrun Humbertov. Sein erster Versuch war ungünstig.
He's jumping inside Togrul Humbertov.
Resultat. Für den zweiten Sprung von Ogrun Humbertov.
Hast du auch gesehen? Eben das Zweite ist, dass das System ja, das ist immer mehr ein Anbieten.
Here comes Humbertov. And he gets the white flag. Looks a good jump as well. Best so far by Muradov is 5.65. This is going to be close to that.
Vordere Linie, also hat er wirklich maximal ausgereizt, die Zone. 5 Meter 73, sein erstes Resultat. 5 Meter 73 für Ogrun Humbertov. Damit kommen wir zum dritten Durchgang im Weitsprung.
5.73 is the distance, so he takes the lead in the T11 battle with Muradov. On to round 3.
Давай, давай, поехали. Давай, концовку пробегай. По-другому вообще побежал.
So no jump
Elchin Muradov durch die Beine.
from Elchin Muradov.
Hat jetzt aber ein ungünstiges Resultat abgeliefert. Aber er hat noch viel weitere Sprünge.
Back to the women's competition. And Bulai Glen hopefully will get a valid jump here. I think she's recorded the valid jump as yet. This time she has. Not put off by the ringing of the midday bells in Switzerland.
Den dritten Umgang eröffnet mit 3,84 Meter. Das ist ihr erstes gültiges Resultat in diesem Wettkampf. Nun folgt die Japanerin Uran Sawada.
Das ist kein offizieller Termin, wo du machst einfach Bildbearbeitung.
Uran Sawada of Japan, T12 athlete, next at 4:95, her best in round 2. That looks to be a valid jump. Yes, it is. Sawada at the moment ahead of Menacom-Boni of Italy. And Carboni will be going next.
Consistent jumps of Uran Sawada, 517, 595, and now 5 meter 13. 495 was the second jump, of course. We now see Anna Maria Mencoboni from Italy.
Anna Maria Mencoboni then next. 5:13 in round 3, her best. Sawada extends her lead. Mencoboni so far her best 3:74 in round 2. Looks a good jump. Gets the white flag. Can she extend the 3:74? I don't think he's going to put any pressure on Sawada. 5:13. There's Sawada's 5:13. Number 221. 213 is Mencoboni. 3:88. So she does jump further than her previous best, but still over a meter behind. Over to the battle then of the men, and a very close battle. Elchin Muradov with a best of 5:65, and he only has to find 8 centimeters to take the lead over his fellow Azerbaijani athlete Mamuratov, and that is a foul. It's been a very long jump, but overstepped the mark.
Ein ungültiger Versuch für Elçin Muradov. Sein erster Sprung. Bisher der den Wert bekommen. 5,65 Meter. Für ihn ist nun Halbzeit in diesem Wettkampf.
Жестко стать. Давай. Сейчас слабо. Нет, топчешься на месте.
And a valley jump for Humbertov. Now his lead of 8 centimeters could well be increased here.
Den Sprung auf 72 von Toguro Humbertov.
5.72. Just 1 centimeter behind his best. So at halfway, we have a very close battle in the men's T11 between the two Azerbaijani athletes. Muradov 5.65 in round 1. But he's behind his Azerbaijani teammates Humbertov with his 5.73, so 8 centimeters further in round 2. In the women's competition, just the one T11 athlete, Boulaglem of France, gets to record a valid jump. This is her 4th attempt. Sawada and Mencaboni of Italy, both T12 athletes, and Sawada is clear by over a metre in front. Round 4. And that looks to be a valid jump. Let's see if she gets the white flag. Yes. So on the board, the French athletes in 2 senses of the term. See the wind picking up in the background. That might make an effect the athletes on track later on. Should be into the or down the home straight behind the 100-meter athletes. We have the heats later on. So waiting for athlete 105. They're 4:03, 4 meters and 3 for the French athlete in round 4.
Next athlete to attempt the 4th jump is Uran Sawada from Japan.
Now Uran Sawada of Japan finished at 5th in Tokyo. She jumped there 5.15. Well, so far today she's got 5.13 on the board. So jumping very well. Can Sawada go further than her jump in Tokyo? Well, let's see if she gets a valid jump. That looked to be a very good jump indeed. quick on the runway, looked to be excellent on the board, good hang time,
Ora Savada die
perfect technique. Let's see the distance. I think the coach is happy as well.
den 4. Sprung gültig absolviert
So 5:13 her best in round 3.
haben gezählt.
I think this could be something fairly special here.
10.
5:10, so she doesn't increase. Very good jump. Very consistent jumping. 4:95, 5:10 and 5:13 her best. Now, Mencaboni of Italy, her best so far is 3:88. There's the replay of Sawada. Perfect technique, really. Maybe just slightly leaning to her right. Here comes Anna Maria Mencaboni. That's behind the board, so it will be a valid jump, but she's lost a fair bit of distance there from the takeoff. 3:88 in round 3, her best. And she goes further by 1 centimetre, 3:89 in round 4.
Mencaboni 3:89.
So 3:89, her best in round 4.
Die beiden Athleten, beide
And now back to the men. And this
Elchin Muradov
very exciting battle. Just the two T11 athletes once again, both from Azerbaijan. We've got Elchin Muradov, who will be jumping now, and Togrul Humadov. And at the moment, it's Muradov who's in front, but only narrowly by 7 centimetres. Both T11 athletes here. Getting his run up wrong. So we'll have a chance to go again if there's time.
Наклон сильный. Конечно, я же тебе сказал. Покажи. Да, давай, давай.
Elchin Muradov in round 4. 5:65 his best. Well, that looks a good jump.
Хорошо. Да, да, все.
Looks a good jump.
Was für ein Satz von Elchin.
Maybe just slightly behind the board if you want to be overly critical. 5:65 in round 1 his best. The technique though, once he hits the ball, that's really good. Got as high as he can. Look at the height. There. Really reaching out. Now I think this could be, as we wait for,
6:08.
here we go, 6 meters and 8. Well, he takes the lead, and 6:08 over the 6 meter mark for the first time in his competition. That jump, just into context, would have been good enough for 4th place in the Paralympic Games. 6:15 would have been enough for a bronze medal. 6:08, it looked good, and it was good. He takes the lead in the competition. Now what can Humbertov do? Humbertov with 5:73 in round 2. His teammate going over 6 meters. Can Humbertov follow and go over 6 meters? Now the athletes restarting here. There's a helicopter just going over, which for obvious reasons will be a complete distraction. And I'd imagine we'll get the clock reset.
Gebrochen wegen einem Helikopter. Hier natürlich
Here goes Humbertov. And looks a good jump. Does he get the white flag? Closer to the board than his teammate. Yes, he gets the white flag. Looks a good jump. .608 the targets. 5.73 in round 2, his best. Same category, T11. .569. So again, very, very consistent, but he doesn't increase his 5.73, and he's now in second after that fantastic 6.08 from Muradov. On to round 5. Round 5 starting with Delia Boulagrem of France, and her best in round 4, only valid jump in fact, of 4 meters and 3. Only athlete in T11. And again, I think just 1 or 2 issues with the helicopter nearby. So the start of round 5, 4 meters and 3. Boulagrem will be aiming for, and Taylor could well be around that 4 meter mark once again. So remember her best of 4.03 in round 4. And Boulagrem, I think this is going to be further. Yes, 4.23. 4.28 in fact. 4.28. And that's not too far away from the top 8 in Tokyo. Only 4 centimeters off 8th place. Now over to Buran Sawada, who's been jumping very well here. 5 meters 13 in round 3, her best. She's been very consistent, 5.10 in the previous. Now, will she get a white flag? That's going to be very close. Look very close on the board. Yes, she gets the white flag. Now, this looks a really good jump here. I don't think she could have been better on the board. Look at this. That foot is right in the middle of the board. Very good. Don't think she's got the height of her previous jumps, but on the board there, that's pretty good there. That's not bad at all. That's pretty good. Now, 5.10 her best. Sorry, 5.13. That's 5.10 from round 5. So she's equaled her second best so far. Very consistent jumping. Now, if she can get the board position right, with the speed and the height she's got on her previous two jumps, and she certainly will go further than the 5:13 in round 3. Mencaboni of Italy. And it's been in the late 3 meters, so 3 meters 88, 3 meters 89 last time around. Mencaboni, can she go over 4 meters? She certainly left a few centimetres there on the board. It's going to be a valid jump, but she's some way behind the foot position of Sawada. So 3:89 her best in round 4.
In the fifth.
3:76 in round 5.
Anna Maria Mencaboni.
Fifth round jump then of Elchin Muradov after that stunning 6:08 in round 5. And that looks a very good jump indeed. Gets the white flag. Very quick on the runway. Height, technique, all there here. Well, after the 6:08, let's see if he's gone further.
New best for Elchin Muradov.
6 meters 15, that's a personal best for Elchin Muradov, and that jump of 6:15 would have been level with Ronan Pallier of France for a bronze medal in Tokyo. Some fantastic long jumping by Elchin Muradov. A new personal best in round 5. Now he's rather left his teammates Togrul Humbertov. He's still in round 2 with his 5:73 as his best. In round 5, how can he try and increase that? He's been very close on previous jumps. Now, this looks a good jump as well. Does he get the red flag or does he get the white flag? He gets the white flag. I think this is a good jump here. Now, 5:73 Humbertov in round 2. I think his position on the board is a lot better with this round 5 jump. Let's see once again. Center of the board. That's probably the best board position we've seen in this long jump competition. Here we go again. Does he have the pace though? 5:65 in round 5. So he didn't have the pace of previous jumps. Didn't have the height either. Better board position, but he just needs to get them all right. And I think he'll be up towards the 6 meter mark. 5:65. Very good jumping. 5:65, 5:69, 5:72, and 5:73 is best as we go into the final round of jumps. There's a still of his position on the board. Doesn't get much better than that. Final round of jumps. Dela Bouliliem has got that one wrong to finish her competition then with a round 5 jump of 4:28. She takes the T11 category. See there, one of the board. So we've had Muradov then in round 5, jumping level with a leap of 6:15, level with a bronze medal winner in Tokyo. I wonder if Sawada can do similar here. She's had a brilliant competition, 5:13 her best. Can she get up towards the 5:33 mark? She jumped 5:15 in Tokyo to finish 5th. Can she reach 5:15? Again, very good jump, very consistent, good on the board. Maybe just to increase her pace and power, really, you would say. Everything else is fine. Running absolutely bullet straight as well, compared to the French athlete just before. So everything's there, maybe just a slight bit more power on takeoff. Doesn't really get high. That would be one thing you would say for Sawada. 5:16, her best. She saved the best for last. 5:16. She jumps further than she did then by a centimetre in Tokyo. 5:16, and she will win the T12 competition. And again, just a little bit more power, a little bit more height, I'd say, and just to add that extra 15 to 16, 17 centimetres she needs then to get up towards what would have been medals in Tokyo. But a good competition for Oran Sawada. Now, Menkaboni has been ultra consistent around the 3:70 mark. Her best actually is 3:89. Again, very straight. And I'd say the same, really. It's the power off the block, not as high as Sawada. And can she get to 4 meters would be her target. Really needs to dig down on that right leg on takeoff and really spring high to get further, get towards the 4 meter mark. 3:85, and she finishes her competition with 3 jumps inside the 3:80 mark, and it's 3:85 her final jump. Her best though, 3:89 in round 4. Final 2 jumps then of the long jump. It's been a very exciting long jump competition. And really looking forward to hear Elchin Muradov has been in fantastic form. He's jumped over 6 meters on 2 occasions, 6:08 in round 4, and then a personal best 6:15 in round 5. That 6:15 level with the bronze medal jump of Palier of France in Tokyo. Can he go further? No, he runs straight through. He's given his all, and hopefully is okay. He's run straight through there. Now that could be very dangerous. Fingers crossed everything's okay. But he finished his competition with that personal best of 6:15 in round 5. 6:15 for Elchin Muradov. He walks away, he's okay. And he'll be absolutely delighted with that personal best. Final jump then for Togrul Humbatov of Azerbaijan. 6 meters and 73 in round 2. There we see Muradov just getting up close and personal with the camera. I think everything's okay. So the final jump of the long jump, Humbatov, 5:73. Can he reach 6 meters. Again, everything right. Gets a bit of height as well this time. Too sure whether he had the speed of previous jumps. I imagine it would be around his familiar 5m70 mark. Very good height that time. Decent on the board. He might just edge further. 561, so around the 560 mark was pretty much bang on. 561, he finishes his competition with a best of 573 in round 2 after a very, very consistent set of jumps. So the winner of the T11 men's long jump was Elchin Muradov with that personal best of 6:15, a brilliant jump in round 5, beating his teammates Togul Humbertov, who jumped 5:73. In the women's competition, it was a win for Erwan Sawada with a very good jump of 5:16, further than she jumped in Tokyo, beating Anna Maria Mencaboni of Italy. 3:89 for her after a very consistent set of jumps around that mark. And the only athlete in the T11 category, Dela Bourriem of France, and 4:28 in round 5, her best. That's it for the morning session. We'll be back later with the afternoon session here in Nottwil on day 2 of 3 of this World Parathletics Grand Prix, and we'll be starting at 2 o'clock local time here in Switzerland with the 5,000 meters, and then after that from 3:45 it's the start of the 100-meter heat. We'll have discus for women and also the sit-in discus for men alongside those, so make sure you join us back with the action here local time 2 o'clock for the 5,000 meters. From myself, Pete Selby, that's all right for now. We'll see you in a bit.
Every revolution starts by a single spark. Can we build the world's fastest racing wheelchair? Yes, but not on our own. Over the past 4 years, the best in their fields have joined forces to build something new with groundbreaking potential.